You snuck up behind me.
Titus and thought I would die. I was that sick.
Weak or?
Everything. I couldn't even get out of bed and walk to the bathroom. I was so breathless. You know, I just was just so weak. I couldn't stand at the stove.
What made you get well?
I don't know if she finally found the right antibiotic, or if this was something that if this was the type of pneumonia that an antibiotic wouldn't help. I don't know, because I was on she had me on 4 different antibiotics. The first 2 did nothing, and I think the third one is when I started to maybe get better. And then after I finished with that one, then she had me start on a 4th one while she was doing some tests to find out what the stuff was in my lungs, and just in case it was this thing, she started me on another one. I quit that one when I didn't have what she thought that was, which I can't remember what the name of it was. But
and you read all this stuff. You read about all these older homes that have asbestos in them, and I mean, you know. And problems don't have to develop until
30 years
several
later.
years later. And does he still have that thing going?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gonna leave.
No, don't leave. Someday
I brought a hand-me-down, and if you don't want it, we'll just put it to the rummage sale.
I'm just trying to show my sister.
I outgrew. I remember this
wonderful.
picture.
I love those.
This is a picture of our grandma's family when she was growing up. Now, I'm not even sure if I can pick them out. That's Aunt Annie, isn't it?
Oh, there's the twins there, yeah.
Aunt Annie and
Aunt Katie.
Katie. So is this grandma?
Yes.
Okay, that's grandma. And those are really the only ones that I knew. So these, Barb.
You knew Aunt Mary.
Oh, that's right. She's the little one.
Mm-hmm.
But the Aunt Mary that I remembered was 300 pounds.
Yes.
At least.
Oh, she's only about 9 or 10 pounds there.
Yeah.
That's somewhat less.
Now, is that Kate? No, wait a minute. That was Annie and Katie and Grandma. And this one is...
That is Gene Hobbiger's dad, grandpa. No.
The lady.
Oh,
holding the baby.
Oh, that's Barbara.
That's Barbara.
Kwasniewska.
Okay.
Kwasniewska.
Isn't that a name? And this looks like a little boy.
No, that's Aunt Mary.
Oh, who's the baby?
That's the baby, Kwasniewska.
Oh, that's Aunt Mary.
Yeah.
Is this her Kwasniewska's husband then?
Yeah, that's the husband there.
Oh, okay. So that's another generation then.
Right. That's how we were kind of able to figure out what year this was taken by looking at the baby.
At the baby. And then this is the parents whose names were
John and Catherine.
Catherine. And these are the older children who I don't think...
Here's Anton, who's the one that died in '89, I think. You know, that's when Grandma got her dowry.
Oh, 1889.
Yeah.
How many kids do they have?
Well, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. Five.
This is Aunt Frances, and this is her husband.
Oh.
And this.
All right, now I'll count.
They didn't get along too good with.
They didn't get along too well.
Him.
They didn't.
She died in childbirth with a 3rd child.
She did.
Yeah.
What was her name? Who was that?
Frances?
No, that's the one that had us get these apricots. That's her line of family.
Okay.
Frances.
Frances is right here.
That's a girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess
Severe hairdo.
Yeah, I guess
Get
so.
the hair back.
I guess just that. Who is this? We're gonna peek.
Yeah, there is something on the back.
Vince
So there
Wenzel.
were how many kids there?
Oh, there's another picture.
Rosie
Well, there's
Rosie,
another
Mrs.
picture
Fred
there. It's the same picture.
Reimert.
Raymer,
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
And that's where we got those, where the apricots that are brought.
Okay.
Okay.
He sent me this gift from California.
Yeah, fresh apricot. Well, not fresh apricots, but in some kind of syrup.
Well, this was a little boy then. No?
You know what, right offhand, I don't remember.
Oldest son, John. Is that it? The oldest son, John?
Must have.
Here's John. John S.
That's up here, yeah.
But Barbara, Mrs. John Kwasniewska, and oldest son, John, 1879 born.
So this is Barbara and John.
And that must be her baby
That's their baby.
that was born in 1879.
Yeah. That would make our grandma. Our grandma was born in 1870.
74.
Our grandma?
It says
Not our grandma.
Miss Oath, no,
1870.
Agnes. 70.
70.
So here she is. So that makes her look like 9 years old at that one.
1970.
Yeah, yeah, so it makes her about 9, that's about
9 or
right.
10, yeah. We're missing my story here. I'll forget it. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, okay.
This is the ship's roster. This is the ship's roster.
Yes.
So you can read who they were. They're in this picture now.
John No, is that John Renchen?
John Renchen. That's John Renchen right here.
Here?
Yeah.
Now you know this is years later
Yeah.
we're looking at. The next one is
I can't make it out.
well,
Would be his wife?
I would
Yeah.
imagine this is his wife.
What are these numbers?
That be their age?
Age? I suppose.
38 and 31.
Okay.
So this is Barbara, age 7.
Is that Martha or something like that?
Or maybe, would that be?
Or Bertha? Or
Well,
it's hard to tell.
It is.
but you see Barbara there, don't you?
But then Barbara,
Yeah.
Here, age
So
7.
Barbara Kwasniewska.
right there.
Where did you find Barbara?
Here?
Okay, right there.
And then the baby, this is a baby, isn't it?
Wait,
And this
John.
is Barbara, this is
He's one, yeah.
the ship roster, so this would be these kids that came over with their mom and dad.
Yeah.
So really then it's only Barbara.
And Francis.
And one more.
And Francis, there's 2
Francis was 5, and then there's a littler one, and I can't, what is that?
This is John.
This is John right here.
Okay.
Oh.
Oh. Oh, okay, so it's 3 children that they had.
Okay.
And so this is the man, this is John that married that Cecilia.
And Celia, right.
Celia.
Where did they come in?
New York.
New York?
I'm not real sure what happened to the rest of the because they sailed on the ship New York, left Bremen, Germany.
Where, how did you
But
get?
I had real trouble myself finding that
Right,
ship's roster.
because it was under, didn't you follow it through with Wanyas or something?
Right. Because Clarence Wanyas just died about 2 weeks ago. The person that told me this. That his grandfather held his son's father-in-law on the ship. You remember I tried to
I
get that?
remember you telling us about that. Sit down. I remember you telling, it's almost like a riddle,
Yeah, really.
you know.
And I decided that I would never
Does that
find
feel
out
good,
what
Ben?
ship they were
Huh?
on.
Does that feel good?
Then I
Well, yeah, it's
When,
acceptable. I'm not
tried
complaining.
to find the Wanyas when they came over. I found it right away in the library. And then, so I ordered that ship's roster. The roster that you're looking
But
at.
why was it that you couldn't find the Wrenchen?
Just couldn't find it. They must have thought that Wrenchen was not a Czech name when I look in the Czech. You know, these are Czech books telling who came, what year and everything.
How did you get this now through this?
I ordered it from the archives. And like I say, I don't know what Sandy did with all the rest of it, telling me, you know, the ships are, when the ship sailed, the time, and the master, and all that stuff.
Did you have all that
Yeah,
information?
it's all in there.
Well, what is this? State of Minnesota Declaration. Original invalid pension.
You don't have to take this and you can pitch it out. But I can't wear it anymore. I got too big and fat. Would you ever wear anything like that?
Sure I would. I
What
go
was
to my
that again?
walks and the-
I got too big and fat.
I'll take a look at that lady. I don't think she's gained a pound.
Yes, I am.
No way.
I just had my physical, and my blood pressure is up, my cholesterol is up,
Get the cards out.
my weight is up.
It's the stock market could only do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're right.
but you don't have, you can say
Well, this is
no.
great when I go for my walks, you know?
You don't have to, you can say no
I put it
to
under
it.
my jacket.
But it must,
it's
you
great.
better try it on.
Is it down?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
I think it's down.
You look like
I
down.
don't remember
You
anymore.
two want to put heads to heads here?
But it's reversible.
This is great.
Let's just see if the
Anything
Agneses
to keep you
are
warm.
truly
I'm always
Agneses.
cold. Fits me fine.
It's
Yes.
too big.
No, it's
Did you hear that,
just
Ben?
perfect. Or my
Right?
sweatshirts
I'm
and
just
stuff
checking
are
to see
good.
if the
Thank you. Love
Agneses
it.
are really Agneses here.
It feels down.
I can't remember anymore.
It doesn't seem so.
There's
When
a,
it's reversible,
it
they don't
fit?
usually put it. For sure it fits.
Fits perfect.
Yes,
that
perfect.
was too,
Thank you.
didn't work out for me.
I love people keeping clothes.
Yep. Now you're gonna wish that you didn't do that because on the way
Now,
it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
You'll wish you had it.
Yeah.
what?
It's cold. You'll be getting out of the car, those cold rest areas. Oh, I wish I had my car.
Oh, gosh, we stopped for gas in Otana, and our car, our van is so dirty that you wouldn't know what color it was, and it's been too cold to wash.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
But
perfect right now.
But
You put it in my garage, it'll dry up before you leave tomorrow.
yeah,
We've got it
let's
in
go
the
out and
garage.
hand wash it right around here.
Oh no, I'll drive it to town when I go curling tonight.
But anyway,
You're gonna go curling tonight?
Yeah.
I got
So you
out
don't
and
have
washed
skates for that. You gotta be
did the
on
windows
special
while he was
shoes or-
filling up with gas.
Tennies.
Then I
Tennis
went and
shoes?
got
Yeah.
my stocking cap and put it back, but the wind was so
Isn't that
cold.
something?
Yeah. Now, I don't know if you want this jacket. This jacket can go back to rummage sale or whatever. But it was a perfectly good jacket, and I thought, well, I wonder, and it's too small for me too. But actually, it wasn't mine originally. It's another one of those reversibles.
Okay.
But we can pitch it out, or we can.
No, it's in better shape than the other ones that I wear.
That one might be too big for you. But
Oh, I
Well,
don't
it's nice to
think
have
so.
a little big.
I like, yeah, I don't wear stuff really tight.
She doesn't
you
get
know.
to buy new clothes. Everybody
No.
hands them down to Barb.
well,
This is great. No, this
Hey,
is fine.
looks like it's
Thank
but you can just wear
Yeah.
it for wear whatever,
Yeah.
Barb.
It's like a windbreaker.
What is
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it's what it is a windbreaker, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's
Thanks.
it's reversible. You can be any.
Anything, you have
How are you?
anything else in there?
I could have brought some more things and I didn't.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
We'll have to.
You don't hurt my feelings.
No, that's fine.
Where-
I-
where did
rummage
Where
sale
did Jerry
and get some
go?
more stuff.
Yeah.
We go to the rummage sale and get lots of good
Did
stuff.
you
Well,
have, are you
Well, I
having
suppose
one?
I could have given that jacket to the rummage sale, but
Oh,
I just-
Barb can use it.
if Barb can use it. Honest to gosh, the stuff that you can find at our church rummage sales. It's almost like, but you know, it isn't wasted because people are donating it and it's put to good use. And you say to yourself, how can people throw away
Stuff with tags on it.
right? And I picked up last year. I usually work them twice a year. And last year when I was over there and you're helping unload all the stuff from all the you get. I was looking at some of the stuff people put on the big. There was a big, one of these big 9 by 13 or whatever they are, Pyrex. There were 2 of them, baking dishes. And I had one, and I could always use another. I mean, they were brand new. They still had the sticky label from Pyrex. And I don't know if people are giving up. That's a lot of it, I think.
There's a
A
wrench
lot of
monument in,
retired people are
how do you
giving up
pronounce
houses.
that, Travolta?
Sure.
There's some
And
trouble.
if we were,
Travolta?
say we were
Schlo-
going to
Schlo-
downsize and we were going to go
Schlo-
to
No, that picture
a
was
little
taken.
small place, which we will
Oh,
never
what
do.
I would say.
See, we
Our
got
kids,
people that went over
you
this
know, it's
recently,
just
they
like
took the
you
same picture of the
guys
same
have all
monument.
the stuff
Did
that you
they?
probably
They
need
did.
if ever you were going to downsize from this. And so
Turn
people
the
are
page.
giving,
Yeah, they
giving
don't know
away,
what
they
to
give
do
it
with
to
it all.
church.
Yeah.
And chairs and Davenports and
Unless you could read
all
that.
the dish. I mean, there are sets. And I think to myself, wow, if I would have known about this stuff, or if people would have done this when I got married, you could go over there and furnish your house with both sets of dishes and Revere-ware or whatever.
You come and listen to my story, Agnes, so then I'll let you get
People have so much stuff now, because things are less
So
expensive.
much material things.
sister.
What?
She's
Come
busy
and-
talking.
What? What?
No, this is what I found in the book in Otana. This is the Wanyas, Wenzel. John S. Renshin.
And you knew that 1863 was like when they would have.
Well, they have a reference book in the Otana Library, and I found his name in there, but I could not find the Renshin name in there. That's when I ordered the ship's roster.
You know, you should make them put the Renshin name in there for
Okay.
John J. Renshin,
Shipmate.
shipmate. Well, it seemed to me that
And I had the, I knew where they were buried. I was looking for
The official.
gravestone, just now, but I couldn't find it.
but you know, it
Okay,
seemed,
now, so, he is a young man. They're just married, this couple.
Yeah.
and
And so they had no children, and John was the baby. Where's our picture here?
yeah, John was the baby,
John was the baby.
and they were carrying.
He was helping take care of his son's father-in-law.
He was
Future.
helping
And he didn't have any children there, no.
He was actually he was taking care of his friend's baby.
Right.
And it ended up that this baby ended up marrying his daughter. No. Mary Wanya's
And
sister.
I don't know what, that was Aunt Celia that he married.
Oh.
And they had children. And
This young couple had children.
They had, yeah, and of course, our great-grandpa also had more children.
Yes.
And among those, of course, those that were born afterwards didn't matter. It was just that John that
Yes.
we're concentrating on. He married Aunt Celia.
And she is,
And they had
Aunt Celia is
The Wanyas?
their daughter.
no, Aunt Celia married John.
I know, but where does she fit in with?
Wanyas. Well,
Or
they were
this is just part of the story.
No, but now you told me in the beginning something about, how this riddle started.
I think I'm already lost.
No. He has this riddle. And it's... Say it again, I forgot it.
I get confused. We'll have to go resurrect Clarence.
Now,
But
he is holding his son-in-law. This,
I remember something.
No, he's holding his son's father-in-law.
His son's father-in-law.
oh, his son's,
You want me to do
His
it?
son's
Yeah.
father-in-law. Because
Check the email.
his son's father. Is he going
So
home?
it'd be
He's gonna
the
go check his email.
father of the woman he married?
He doesn't have email, does he?
Yes, he does.
Does
Dad,
Jerry have email?
Dad has email on our account. We just use our account on his computer.
So he's gonna bring up email.
Yes. Do you want? Why do you need to look at your email?
No, but I was going to,
Agnes. Josie
but he can't
Wanyas.
send email.
This is
He
Josie
can't.
Wanyas here.
I have to help him.
Josie.
I should send email to our son. Tell him
Josie married. Josie was a product of John on that our big family picture. Where-
Well, that picture that you had before?
Yeah.
Where was it?
I'm
getting
I
confused.
thought I had,
What is this picture of here?
Where
Well,
was it?
oh, that's just some other business.
There was a big picture we were all looking at here. Where was that?
We go looking on the wall.
no.
Where was the big picture that we were looking at? Maybe it's in this book.
No, I don't think so.
Is it in the book in front of you, Uncle Ben?
I don't know. Could be. Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Here it is.
That's that old picture you lost.
This is John, right?
That's John.
That's John.
And he was a little baby when they came over.
Right.
He is the son of John.
Right. And he was a little baby when they came over on the ship.
Who was taking care of the baby?
And Wanyas were just a young couple. And they didn't have any children. And so they would oftentimes take care of the baby for Catherine.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it?
You got it?
Yeah, I hope so.
Then what?
Well, the riddle is that they're holding their
Son's
son's father-in-law,
Future father-in-law.
future father-in-law. And I thought it was their future son-in-law, but it's their future father-in-law.
Well, that makes it harder to understand.
I mean, if he is just a baby, you're saying that he grows up and he has a sibling.
He marries Aunt Celia.
Didn't he marry Aunt Celia?
Well, that's him.
John married Aunt Celia.
Yeah.
Who is Aunt Celia to them?
Just a friend.
No, who is Aunt Celia to Wenzel Wanyas?
Daughter-in-law. Because they have a boy. They have a boy, Wanyas. Wanyas have a boy.
Okay.
And John Renchen here, they have a girl, and the girl's name is Josie Wanyas.
Oh. And so
Josie Wanyas, this is her father.
Josie's father.
That's Josie's father. And so their son married the daughter. Of course, that makes John the father-in-law.
When I hear the name Josie, you know, it makes me think of Clint Eastwood in the movie where he's Josie Wales or something.
Yeah.
I gotta
Who's
get
that?
Sandy to write this down so we know what we're
I
talking
think you
about.
better
Every
get
time we go through this. But it
we
just seems...
never.
it. Well, how could he have a daughter that's Josie if he is a Wrenchen, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
How would he have a daughter
Well, she's Josie
that's a
Renchen.
Wanyas?
She's Josie Renchen.
And then
And
she
She
married.
married a Wanyas.
She married the Wanyas. She married that Wanyas'
All
son
right,
over there.
all right. Now we got that much.
But what surprises me is that he's only a baby when they're coming over.
Yeah.
And I thought that if he was just a baby coming over, and then when they got here, they have a baby, that age-wise, he'd be marrying this,
Right.
that one.
Well, you gotta go through this kind of slow for me. Because
Here's John. He marries Cecilia, and she never speaks English.
well, she marries.
He marries
John.
Cecilia, and she
Okay.
never speaks
They have this daughter, Josie Wrenchen, who marries Wanyas.
Yes.
Who is the daughter of these people.
Okay. The
That they
daughter
went
of the
over.
people, okay.
But age-wise, he must have been a lot older than
Not,
she.
not really, Agnes, because he's only a baby here, and they haven't had any babies yet. The minute they get over here in the United States, they have a baby.
Well, I know, but he has to grow up and have a baby, Josie, and she has to grow up, and
So
so,
that-
we're talking, 20 years.
Yeah, well, Josie, you and I were both Josie Wanyas, or we should have anyway. I mean, this,
You got all this figured out.
Well, we'll go back over it later and see if we
I
can
get
figure it out.
confused easily.
We'll replay this over and
if
over
I had
again.
some better records here,
You've got to write this up with pictures and arrows and everything.
Okay.
And dates.
Is it clear in your mind right this moment?
Yes,
sister?
I understand what you're saying. I just have a hard time understanding.
All these little
What you
babies-
mean?
I
All
mean,
these little
here's...
babies gonna have babies.
Yeah, I mean, here is this John, who's a little baby in 1863,
63.
So,
and this young couple come over on the same ship with him, and they actually babysit him.
you said him, okay.
Right.
Then he married.
And then he grows up and marries it, and then he has a daughter,
They have
Yeah.
a daughter,
and the
Josie.
daughter marries their son.
And so, Mr. Wanyas, the older fellow, he actually took care of John.
His father-in-law.
No, his son's father.
His son's
They're going to be in-laws together.
His son's father-in-law.
Yeah,
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I get it. Yeah, they're going to be, it's like, you're in-laws with Pam's
Yeah.
parents.
Ben, believe me, Clarence had to explain that to me time after time before I could finally get it straight, and I still get mixed up.
Yeah. But it really makes a lot more sense to me that if he's a little baby
Yeah.
and they have a baby as soon as they get over here,
They're not that many years apart.
there isn't that many years apart.
No, they're pretty close in age.
So
Well, he was a baby when they came over.
Yeah. Well, then they had a baby after they got here.
Right.
So the two babies are relatively close in age.
But it's this baby of Manius's
waits to marry his
baby.
daughter. Yeah, waits to marry the baby's daughter.
Marries the baby's daughter.
I don't know if all this is possible myself.
Well, that's the point I'm trying to get at. I thought this
Baby's
story...
daughter.
Yes,
But
baby.
this led me to find that they sailed on the ship New York, because I got their pedigree. I got the Wanyas, Wenzel Wanyas.
Oh, yeah.
Darn it, I wish I can't find stuff.
When is this happening?
And that baby marries his baby.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's what my brother said.
That's what I was
But
told.
they were almost... He was a baby when he came over,
And they were just newly...
and they were newlyweds. And they had a baby.
The baby waited for the baby they babysat to have a kid before it got married.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. I don't know.
tough to figure out all these things.
You know, in the Little Missile Cemetery, they have this stone, that's where the Wenzel and his wife are buried. And Clarence said, I sure wish I could know what that says on those stones. And it was big. And I went and made a rubbing, and I took it over to the lady that can read Czech to tell what that's on the stone. And right now I can't find my interpretation.
How long ago did you do this?
Well, I saw it here just like a year ago or so. It's
You
upstairs
sure
in
you
the
didn't-
attic somewhere.
Oh, because I was going to say, did you give it to Sandy
I might have.
to get into here?
I might have.
She did a lot of work on this.
So I got this far to Josie Wanya's picture there. And she was Josie Wrenchen. And her brothers were John and Louis and Walter.
Walter Wrenchen. Who were her sister? Who? Say that again. Who were
Her brothers were John and Louis and Walter.
And her sisters were
I don't know.
Walter Wrenchen. Isn't he the one that lived over in Fairmont?
Well, that was Walter Casper.
Oh, that was Walter Casper. Oh, that another Walter.
I'm very easily confused with all this conversation because they're jumping on the different names.
And
Stick to the John and Agnes's. And won't jump names that way.
You know, Barb, your great-grandmother, our grandma, was she was probably about 5 foot, 5'7". She was a 5'8". She was a big boned woman. She was well built. I mean, she was not fat at all, but she had a large frame. And Aunt Annie was a little smaller lady, a sister of hers. Katie, they were all quite small, except for this Aunt Mary, who was in this picture on the corner.
well, there's your picture of the ladies.
There, okay. Now it already shows. There's our grandma,
Okay.
and there's Aunt Annie. There's that Katie. No, that's Aunt Annie, isn't it?
Well, they're the twins.
The twins, but
Yeah.
I never can. I think that's Aunt Annie.
I think it is too. I
I
think
think
that's
it's Aunt Annie. And this is
Barbara.
Barbara.
Kwasniewska.
And who was this?
And Rosie.
Rosie. And that's Mary. Has to be Mary. But, we didn't know, I didn't remember these, but this Mary, who was the littlest one in that
Is
bed,
that these girls here?
yes,
Now this was Agnes, your grandmother.
and those are the twins,
These are the twins, and this one is
Annie
Annie
and Katie.
and Katie.
Yeah.
So Francis had already died. And we think that probably Rosie came back for a funeral for some.
And this is Mary,
Mary.
and this is
It's Mary.
that's Mary. And these two,
Barbara and Rosie, but
are they here? Is this Barbara?
that has to be the Barbara Kwasniewska.
Wow.
And she certainly is.
So these are all children of
Catherine and John.
Okay. Had
But Mary,
6 girls?
Barb, we'd go out to Mary's, her last name was Sershin. Yes? Aunt Mary Sershin, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would always see her sitting in a rocking chair. And it was a big rocking chair. Well, it had to be a big rocking chair. And she
Oh, you're talking about Aunt Mary.
Yeah. And
Okay.
she was so big.
Yeah, she
which
was-
one? Now is this
That was, there she is there. She's fine there.
She doesn't look any bigger than any other.
No,
others.
but she gets, she gets a lot like Barbara.
So our father has 2 cousins living yet.
Our
Our
father.
father in the Wrenchins. Roman and, so I should have brought it up because I can't think of her name.
Roman is who?
Roman Wrenchin. He's the youngest of all of
But who's his parents?
John and Mary.
John and Mary.
Yeah.
And so she married a John.
She married a John. She married a John
Johnson.
Wrenchin.
No. She married.
Married a John Wrenchin?
Yes.
Oh, I said Sershin, and I didn't mean Mary Sershin. That's
How-
Mary
Were
Wrenchin.
they They weren't related, were they?
They were not related by blood, but they had,
Oh.
you get to read some of this stuff in here, why. The mother was pregnant when she came across. And she wasn't pregnant with his son.
Oh,
Skeleton.
skeleton, the closets are coming out.
If we look in here, I got this, tell this
Well,
story.
that's really what makes genealogy confusing when something like that comes
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
So, who was this John Wrenchin that she married? Whose parents were his? If Mary Sershin married a John Wrenchin,
Well, it's the Wrenchin that went back to Czechoslovakia, and he never came back to the United States. He stayed there.
they went back and they never came back.
I can't tell you the name without.
But they didn't come over when they came over.
No.
This is the Rammerts family. Ramert or Rammert?
That's Rosie. That lady, that's Rosie, I think.
My grandson sent to apricots.
And that's,
She's
What's
she's
his
a
last name?
sister.
she's this.
That's
Yeah.
Rosie.
Yeah, that's what I thought she said.
And they live in
That it was Barbara.
Montana.
No, they're pretty much scattered all over the United States, but the one that sends to apricots is in California.
It's in California. And
And she's buried in Alabama. Now, you heard me tell that story. Genevieve and I went down there purposely to find where she was buried
you've been to Alabama?
in Alabama, on our way to Texas.
That's straight route.
But
There's a slate.
we got to this
You gotta
one
go there and
town,
then you gotta go there.
and it wasn't the right town yet, but we stayed overnight there. And we looked in our book, and here it had a square dance up at a hall. So we went up to the square dance and dancing, got to visiting with the ladies, where are you from? I said, we came down, we were looking for a grave of my great aunt. She said, well, what is her name? And I said,
Rosie.
Rosie Raymer.
Right.
She said, I know her. Now, Rosie died like 1931. And this is already in the 70s, I suppose. So it's 50, 60 years later. We ran into that lady, and she said that where they used to live, and she said that she would go and get milk because they had milk to sell, Aunt Rosie did. But she said, if you want to find somebody that really knew them well, I'll give you their address. And that was just so exciting to think we went and talked to this lady. Sure, she knew Aunt Rosie really well. Such a nice lady she was. Can you imagine to run into somebody like that?
Yeah.
Imagine.
Just amazing.
Just by chance going to a square,
Square
dance.
dance, yeah.
It's a small world.
It really is.
And you weren't even in the town that you
No.
expected.
No, we had to go another 30, 40 miles from town. And
Genevieve was very tolerant of your vacations.
But it was fun
think so?
looking for these things. It really was.
Now, this is Anna Renchen Casper.
Well, that's Aunt Annie,
Yes.
but they call her Anna there. Why?
I don't know.
I always thought her name was Annie.
I thought so too.
Nerds refers to it as Anna.
Anna
Who
Casper.
wrote Anna there? Is that
Well,
Sandy's right?
It looks like more like Sandy's writing.
Probably Sandy, huh?
But, interestingly enough, Jane. Isn't this Jane's writing? It's stamped upside down.
It's Anna.
It's Anna there.
Looks like Myra. No, it isn't.
But she was a Renchen before she became a Casper? Is that right?
She was my grandma's sister.
This is my grandma.
You've heard me
Okay.
talk so much
Where is she here?
she was one of the twins,
Oh,
and I think this is her.
oh.
And she and my grandma were very close. And she married Uncle Frank Casper. And Uncle Frank Casper had a grocery store right across. You know where that restaurant was that we used to go and have shrimp all the time.
Yeah.
And we had coffee there.
Ben's
when-
Kitchen?
And then, across the street was Ringhoffer's Meats. I
Yeah.
showed that to you. Well, then, right next door was Uncle Frank's.
In the alley between them.
An alley between and Uncle Frank's Casper's grocery store. And, Aunt Annie and Uncle Frank spent a lot of time with Grandma.
Mhm.
And they
You
would
call her
come.
Annie, but her name was really Anna.
I always knew it as Aunt Annie. And they played a lot of pinochle. And sometimes they could get a fourth, and I don't know who they got as a fourth.
You.
I played a
You.
lot of pinochle with them.
You.
Played a lot of pinochle with them. And so I think I really got to know.
And Anna was the daughter of,
Oh, she was these are all sisters.
Yeah.
There she is.
that's
We don't know which one she is.
the twins anyway.
So was Frank's store still there when you guys were eating
I don't
at the
think the
kitchen?
grocery store, Casper grocery store, wasn't there when we got married.
Okay.
Beginning
Well,
to
there's
get-
Fate and Scram.
You know, it's a funny thing, if you can
Tony Fate.
start to associate what
You
you're
know, with
looking
the
at with the
employees
name,
or work for
then all of a sudden the name
That name
brings to mind
sounds familiar.
a face,
Mm-hmm.
what is the lady's name that
providing your
she
memories.
was bookkeeper? Tony's wife. And then there was Lorraine Fate was the daughter, and then Dick Scram. What they bought together in there, they call it Fate and Scram Grocery.
And I know isn't that where Mother brought the eggs?
We took our eggs there.
Eggs there to sell. And Mother would buy a limited amount of groceries there because she felt obligated.
Because other stores bought vegetables from us.
But she bought a lot of groceries, I know, at Kelly's.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the name of the grocery store down farther down on the corner? Not Sershin.
No, I mean from who? Casper's?
Casper's
So
Ringhoffers. What?
Oh, Wrestlers.
Wrestlers.
Because there also was Sofo, and Sofo had a store. There was Kenyon's Grocery, Stroopnagel,
Oh, yeah.
Scissors,
And his sisters was down,
across from Kelly's.
yeah, that was a smaller store.
Mm-hmm.
But Mother kind of had to go all over. And I suppose it was because
Because we bought.
we bought stuff. But Kelly's was always the one I liked to go into because when she'd go in there, they always gave the kids a little bag of candy.
Right.
And they had dry goods.
You had, you called her the corset lady.
Oh, Miss Frisch?
No, Tony Dushek.
Oh,
One of these two
what about that?
is
Well,
her.
you know, she sold corsets. And she didn't wear much of a corset herself.
Oh,
You're the one that told me about that.
God,
Her name was Tony.
Tony,
Tony Dushek. And she had
Dushek.
hair and she always had the pencil stuck in her head.
pencil
I need
stuck
it.
in her hair.
I think I need a nap.
What was your question? I didn't mean to.
This is one of these two.
Yes.
And I think it's her because of the way her mouth sits.
You know, her eyes too.
Yeah.
You know, when I was a junior in high school,
Yeah.
we went up to Minneapolis, some store up there, and bought my prom dress. And then when I was a senior, Kelly's really expanded, and they were getting more and more nice clothes in for girls. And I remember buying my prom dress there.
Did Lucille Betlock work there then?
Maybe she
Oh.
sold it to me, I don't remember. But it was, I mean, and it was off the shoulder, and it was strapless, and it just had little tiny straps. And then it was fitted, and then it had a couple of tiers going down. And it was either blue or it was red, I don't remember. Kind of a dotted material. And the clerk that sold it to me, and I can't remember if it was Lucille or not, but it was a one of a kind. Nobody else was going to have that dress at the prom. And I think the first person I walked in, Alice Von Wald, was wearing the same dress, except I think mine was dotted blue and hers was dotted red.
Oh.
You remember that, huh?
I always
Oh,
remember
boy.
that. We looked at each other because we were both told that it was a one of a kind. And it was one of a kind, but it was just that it was different color.
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh, isn't that something?
What is that thing doing?
Not much.
Is it taking any pictures?
We're recording family history.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think there's much history to a prom dress.
Well, yeah, we hear all these great stories. Tell us some more.
Do you have audio on that too?
You bet. Every word you said is recorded for posterity.
Oh, I can remember so many things. I read when you talk about proms, when we were juniors, the juniors are responsible for decorating the gym for the prom. And of course, the girls wore long dresses, but the guys just wore suits. And none of this going to hotels and dinners before like they do now. But I was on the decorating committee, and I had this great idea, and we didn't have very much money to spend. We had a very limited budget. And we had all these little tables set up, and we got bowls that we put water in, and I mean, this was my idea, see? And now we're talking in May, and, or, April maybe. I don't know when the prom is,
Well,
maybe
proms
April.
are usually May, aren't they?
April.
I don't know.
And,
I wouldn't know. I went to so many different
I had
high schools
talked to
and
Jim
everyone-
Betlock, and what Jim would do in the greenhouse is he would break off the geranium blossoms that were almost through blossoming,
Yeah.
so that it would
Force the others to come out.
force the others to come out. And I had talked to Jim about this, and so then when I was going to, two or three of us girls came out to the farm, to the greenhouse, and got all these dead blossoms that well, they weren't all dead, but they were partially dead, and taking them back with us, and then we were going to pluck off
The parts that were
because they were little individual
drying up. Yeah.
flowers within one geranium blossom. And my dad saw us coming out of the greenhouse. I mean, this had all been cleared with Jim. And all I did was we picked up the old ones that Jim had thrown on the floor or the ground. And my dad apparently I hadn't communicated this with my dad. And I'm coming out of the greenhouse with all these geranium blossoms. And this is only, a couple weeks before the big memorial sales. Or
Right.
maybe during... That isn't on your thing.
What did he
Oh,
say?
he was so mad because he thought we had gone down there
Throwing all the
and picked all the good blossoms off.
Yeah, wow. Communication is an important thing, isn't it?
Well, I communicated with Jim, that was...
Well, yeah.
You're still speechless about that, aren't you?
Isn't that funny how you remember things like that? Man.
Gosh.
Did you read this letter, Ben?
No, I might get confused, but I'll read it.
You read some of it, Dan.
Oh, did
Maybe I did.
I've forgotten all about that letter. When it was
78.
our father again giving us to the wit's end.
78 would be.
Oh, yeah, I just reread that recently. That's a letter that I wrote to you,
Yes.
saying that his 80th birthday
Yeah,
should be canceled.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
And I remember I wrote back to you and says, show us, give ulcers, they don't get them.
They give what?
They give ulcers, they
They ulcers. They
They don't get them.
They don't get them. I see.
This is the letter that I wrote Jerry.
Yeah, I can see it.
Why did you think the 80th birthday should be
This was-
canceled?
What?
Because your father was making all kinds of demands.
Oh, he was?
Who to ask
He
or not to ask.
didn't like the idea of having it at his house. But anyway, it's a good thing he called when he did because I had all the invitations addressed and ready to drop them in the mail.
Yeah.
I had a letter from Aunt Dorothy a couple weeks ago, and she wrote, and when I wrote back telling us we'd be home
here.
to stay with us.
Well, just set it down.
She was in Minneapolis. I also sent along the invitation. So by now, John and Albina know, and will have to be told that it is canceled. I wasn't able to get the cousin addresses from Marie, so I called Mrs. Edwardsville. Must call her. Guess it doesn't pay to be organized. I thought Ben had done a nice job on the invitation. I agree. Now, what do we do? It would still be nice for us and the grandchildren to get together. In fact, I expect that is what he plans. Would you like to come up to our house this Sunday, June 18th, Father's Day? Figure it is your turn to come up here. I'm writing this to Jerry.
Besides,
He says Bill needs the practice of finding our hearts.
Your sister.
Will you check with Larry and Sandy and then we'll write Barb and Jerry? I would like to make it strictly potluck. We could figure out what everyone could bring when I find out if everyone can make it, so let me know. And another thought why he was so depressed, didn't want the party, and that is because his driver license problem.
yeah.
Is that Billy they're talking about?
No, we're talking about Grandpa.
Oh,
I guess I can't blame him for that. It's probably like he's in prison when he isn't free to go drive anytime he wants to. Last day of school is Wednesday for Keith, and when it is on,
And
then
then,
it is on to his busy summer schedule. Kurt had been home for almost 2 weeks and has a job, and they're not that easy to find up here. Keith also has a job lined up, so they are set for the duration. Now, if I could just survive the next 3 months with them home and me working full-time, I can never keep ahead in cooking and grocery shopping. Hope to hear from you soon about June 18th. Okay.
We did do that
No,
potluck next
I don't know
weekend.
how in the world that letter got saved. I mean, I have no idea.
This is for his 80th birthday.
Yeah,
I wish I had the answer to that.
I wish that I had the answer too. But here's June 21st, 1978, in Miss Shoba's birthday party, Albert Mill Street.
Okay.
And
Show how
here-
much influence you have.
so much. Well, you know, he wanted it canceled.
You know, just the hell with it.
Yeah.
We
You're
all
over
signed
there.
our individual
here.
name. Agnes.
Yeah. Here's Cecilia.
Cecile.
Cecile Shoba.
Yeah, that's Hopkins.
Here's Amo and Pat.
And does that ring a bell with you?
Yeah, we know who Amo and Pat are.
We know where they are. What did they pick up at this?
And-
What did they pick up at this party?
And you mean that's when they picked that up? Oh my gosh. They picked up Jane's diary in 1978. And I knew in the last couple of days when I was trying to think of all these things, I knew Jerry was going to ask me, did you bring the diary back? And,
Well.
Dick Dillman, Jim Bentlon. That's when you were living in West
Nowadays, I could just go there and get my hands on that book there. And we use that book for all our reunion. That same book.
Mr. and Mrs. Paul.
Gus Bain's name is in there.
George Digg.
George Digg. I think the pastor of the church.
So this was the thing that was canceled,
Yeah,
Yeah.
this was what was canceled.
or he wanted canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed to me there was something about that I can't vaguely recollect.
Uncle John must have been dead already.
Uncle John Shoba. Yeah.
Because,
He died in '76, didn't he?
I got it written down in my book. Marie and Bob, Woody Mason, they were friends of folks. Reverend Roshan was the minister, and he's the minister now at, I think it's Mizpah, was his name. And Mizpah up in Plymouth, in Minneapolis.
Oh,
I just
remember
read
that.
his,
Yeah.
and I just read his name. He's quite involved. He's on some big committee for that big convention that's coming up. The United Church of Christ convention.
What are these X's for?
Just
Maybe because they gave him a gift or something, and they had to have a thank you note or something.
like Cornelia Schwery, is that name there? Got an X on it? Or are you getting it out of the birthday party?
We're still in it. Maxine Dietz, remember? Elvira Sanders Lloyd must have been dead already. And Catherine and Thor Anderson. Al and Margaret Eisenfeld. That's Mrs. Goulden's daughter and son-in-law. Libby, Halstead,
Honey.
Eric. Lauren McMartin was insurance man.
Did you have him for you too? That you remember him? Oh,
He gave me rides. For some reason, he would go towards Wasika,
Oh,
and I got rides sometimes with him to school. He must have been an older man for you to be.
I always remember him as being old, and he was old for his whole life as far as I'm concerned.
Boy, there were sure a lot of people.
He was still alive after Jerry and I were married, wasn't he?
probably.
That's a long time.
That's the family reunion,
Okay.
86.
All right.
But these are all the guests that came
Gus Bean. Lil must have already been dead then.
She died.
What did they put down?
Must have been on here.
Yeah, my father says. Gus Bain's got a girlfriend too. And he had a girlfriend, our father did. Yeah, Louise.
Gus did?
Gus had he came over with a girl.
They're being canceled, that's pretty good. A lot of people showing up.
Well, what changed his mind?
We just went ahead and had it.
Wasn't anything you could do,
No.
these people just showed up.
And I took my photograph, the old Edison photograph, and they never brought it back until after he died. We go over there and play a tune, you know.
Sure.
Christmas at Casey's.
Yeah,
Highways are happy ways.
highways, yeah, and there's,
I've got an old maid sister, crazy after cats.
that's,
I remember that. That's on that.
She wears her hair just pasted down because she's afraid of rats. She's got the neighbors talking.
and they all think she's
They all think she's right.
grand or right.
She,
I can't remember it, but, and it was
Grandma
those records were those old Edison records, and they were very thick. Remember that?
sure.
I remember
Where are they?
Grandpa singing that
Down
song.
the basement.
Oh, that's
Remember
right.
him singing that.
Well, let's go crank it up.
We
That-
should
that
need some
crowd-
oil on the shifting mechanism.
The, it,
He plays it, we needs a little oil on there.
that's a real antique.
Yes, it is.
Didn't Jane get that for Dad?
It was there when I was born, as far as I can
I
remember.
thought that Jane had bought that for Dad.
She might have. She might have.
I remember that.
Because they never did get many more records.
But we play them over and
Uh-huh.
over. And it seemed to me that eventually it ended up in your bedroom.
Upstairs. And I had to put a string down through the floor register. So when it was time for me to get up, I just was pulling that string, that clicks it into gear, makes it run.
Right. Really? That,
Mom, if you want me to wake up, I want to wake up to music. His own alarm clock back before radios waked you up. He had his record player wake him up. That was $1 million idea that you didn't sell.
that's right. That's right. Let's see. But you know, when you think about it, all the things of our dad and everything, of course, I think the reason that we got gas for heat in the house was because he wanted it for the greenhouses. And because it was piped in, he got it to the house. But, I mean, we were something living way out we were way out in the country, and we had gas heat.
Wow.
Mom had this little, you could think of it now as an apartment size stove.
What was
You
the
know,
name
it
of
was a
it?
narrow,
Laurel.
Laurel, I'm going to say roper, I can't remember.
See it, neighbor?
And where did that stove come from?
I
Our grandma.
Oh, you didn't even get a new one. You just
Oh,
got
no.
someone's old
don't,
one.
Grandma had it, and then Grandma bought that big roper or
Yeah, with a big
oven on the side.
Yeah,
But,
that's the one that looks, well, Larry's got it on the junk pile now.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's the one that looks like the one that Debbie has in her hallway there.
okay. Now, is that what you use to heat the house? Is that
No,
what you,
no, but our mother did once we got it, she used it for a lot of her baking and cooking because she didn't have to
Start the fire in the
start the fire in the old
cook
stove.
stove, Majestic.
And then, when he put the bathroom in,
1947.
I make some.
even that was,
What year did you get the bathroom? In the 40s?
Oh, 40, was it 47 or 48?
Do you like decaffeinated?
I'll drink either. This one has to have
Yeah,
decaf.
that's what this is.
Okay.
47,
You should
because
put this in there.
that was the year that they had their 25th wedding anniversary. And we had it was,
Well, you were overseas, weren't you?
No,
Weren't you in Japan?
I was back in 46. came back in 46.
Harold Yank is a friend of Jerry's, and they lived west of us.
Okay,
Ben probably must have met him.
Yeah, it's known.
I think so. Now, there was a Yank that was a teacher too, wasn't there, that Keith had?
Yeah.
No, that was from Don Yank from Owatonna, and he pronounced it Yank, he didn't say Janky. Okay. Now I remember you telling me about that.
Oh, what's that noise?
You know, it's more fun when we can talk about these things with someone that, you know,
Yeah.
instead of just looking at all this stuff and turning the page and turning the page.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
And
Well,
it brings
you get
back.
out, if you don't talk about it, you forget about it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and you don't really absorb it.
And I
You
remember.
can't make any connections.
I
It's just information. It has no relationship
I'm sorry.
when I read that
to
letter.
anything.
Wow, these are big.
Well,
It's an apricot.
it looks
They're
good.
huge. When I read that letter here not too long
I'll
ago,
help you tomorrow.
I could not remember what changed his mind. But you're just saying you just went ahead with it.
Yeah.
Did you say something, Gary?
No, not really.
Your son Michael is
Home.
home?
No, he's not home yet. He's probably practicing.
Michael was practicing at church tonight. He said he was going to be home for supper, but that their band was practicing.
This was in
He has his
78.
own wheels, I take it.
Yes, he has a car.
So he doesn't have to.
Yes.
Yeah, mom and dad's car.
It's 25 years ago.
And you guys drive the
Drive the Suburban.
Suburban.
Yeah.
Now you went to Michigan for a week.
Yes, we
Did
did.
any of your kids go with you?
All of our kids.
All of your
It was
kids.
our family vacation, the first time we've all been together since Carmen was a senior.
So Carmen was able to get off work and
Yes.
To go on vacation with
Go on
us.
vacation. Well, we went all together to Texas. What year was that? Boy, those years go by
About
fast.
4 years ago.
Was Carmen in high school then, or had she graduated? When we went to Texas with Mom and Dad. I can't remember.
That was one thing that Genevieve and I were gonna make a trip with you up to visit Carmen. Never made it.
never made it.
Never made it.
You just-
But we went up there December, wasn't it?
Before Christmas.
And that is, she's got hard work. Milking those cows.
But she likes it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She loves those animals.
But isn't her boyfriend down here?
No, she doesn't have a boyfriend.
I thought she did.
She had a boyfriend for a while, but he was
But
from
he's
Melrose.
edible?
Oh.
But she doesn't have a
There,
boyfriend.
Help yourself.
I think I should, because
You can see what leftovers I brought.
Sweets?
It's some turkey and some dressing left over from Christmas.
Well, tell
And
I
I,
love that.
Tell Aunt Agnes what happened to Carmen, why she doesn't have the boyfriend up there
why
anymore.
doesn't she have a boyfriend up there anymore?
We don't want that video, do we?
Maybe not. Oh, is it running?
It's been running up since I got over here.
He was upset because, you know, she hadn't been able to find a church similar to what she's familiar with. We went to Washington.
Oh, she says, oh, yes, she says, maybe that's right. Her
My dad
county.
used to
His
have
wife
these
must be
days.
down there too. Then she was starting to remember. I said, you can send it anyway. Oh, no, she says.
The right hand.
That's how British people.
Oh, yeah,
do, isn't
that's
it?
European.
Well,
Yeah.
But you
Oh,
could
just
clean
give
a
us something
plate
to think about.
So clean.
oh, nice. It's gonna bug me, but I hope I'll probably forget it.
Call through your
What a
classmates.
legacy.
Yeah, if
So I don't try to
I
clean it
called
up
Tina
like that.
Hummer, she'd probably remember.
Wait,
He's not a member of the
I-
Queen. No, he's a true member of the Queen.
I asked her, what year did you graduate? And she told me 48. That's when I said, well, my sister graduated in 48. She
So
said,
it's
oh,
12
yes.
off in
And
December.
then I said, I remembered like,
Have I been?
Wayne
This year?
Goodwin.
I had an invite to go,
And,
yeah,
Lucille.
a few weeks ago, when it was so nice, up to 50 degrees.
Did you
That
go?
one Tuesday,
That's when she told me how unhappy she was at the reunion.
Didn't have time to go.
Well, she didn't sound unhappy when I talked with her, but like,
Oh, I don't
It was
know, I
just
was
a
probably
bad
putting
time
together
for her to
our
come.
itinerary or something like that, doing some phoning, and, we got it all set now.
it's good for your brain to get
Yeah.
We leave New Braunfels. and
I had
then
no
go-
idea what her
We'll go.
last name was.
How,
We got,
It just passed over the
Long
top
are
of
you
me.
gonna be
When I-
gone?
Yeah.
Cause
we'll probably
she
get
said,
home
hello.
about April
I said,
9th.
hello. So I told her I'm calling from Old
so
Town,
from here you're gonna
Minnesota.
go,
I'm answering a
Well,
lady
from
call
here,
on
the
my-
next stop for us
And
from
I-
here
she
is
talked to me.
And Angus
Nevada,
brought us dessert.
Missouri.
She was just
Barb
next
fixed
county.
apples.
It came so clear.
Little town halfway
And it's
down.
interesting that 509,
Next stop after
which is so
that will
close to
be
507.
Tyler, Texas.
Yeah.
and yet it's way out in the state of
And
Washington.
then we go to
I'm
Katy, which is
trying to
just
think of all the
west of
Donnas,
Houston.
because we had Donna Orchard,
We stay
Donna
with
beer
friends there.
store.
They used to be in
There were a
Brownsville.
lot of Donnas in our place.
He moved up there.
And
I don't know, Bree,
Oh,
I suppose John
there's one
David
that's
Do you know what she
coming,
said?
is busy in Houston.
something with
She was
this.
going through some
School.
old papers and she found something that I'd written
We
to
will have to get his,
her relative. When they made a donation
do
to
we have his
the
email?
Bohemian Cemetery, and I just wrote,
presume he has an
"Thank you."
email up in
She said,
Houston.
"There's a bunch of papers.
same one as when he's at home.
I mean, that's why she called
So we
me.
could reach him by computer
You
there.
could.
Or we could, how about phone number? We can always call
We
him.
have his phone numbers too.
Small world.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You have-
for sure.
Do you have John David's phone number and email? Okay.
Right here. You wanna call
I
him
don't
and talk
think
to
this
him?
is
All
a-
right now.
I got it, and I think you've got the email addresses, don't you, and stuff for Kurt and Keith.
I'm
No.
not sure if they're at this house or at my house. I'll have to look, but you wanna, do you know what theirs are?
Well, it's too late now, but I was going to email Kurt when you were on it. I mean,
Oh.
email Keith, because he picks up his email real quick, just to let him know that we were here. Because the roads were not good this morning at
We email,
Minneapolis.
he's got
No.
3 email addresses.
Well, if he's home, he might pick it up at home. But when he's at work, he's got it picked up.
Right away.
He's on a network, so he's always online.
Yeah, he's got 2 emails at work.
That one that we said Tom Carey didn't go.
Or when do I
Told
get
you it
all this
wasn't
stuff?
right.
But you see, you're a saver.
It's because it needs a dot something, a dot net or a dot com.
Well, he didn't write it down.
I think he assumed we knew.
Well, maybe that goes after his name.
It would go johnsоncomponents.net or johnsоncomponents.com, one or the other. So did you call
He
him?
held his son's father-in-law.
Couldn't get hold of him.
Well, that's that story. Gets you confused. Maybe if I could see the faces,
Try
make the
now.
connection.
I
But
got
not
him
when
at
that
his
warned
house.
you have trouble.
You left a message on his
Yeah.
answering machine?
But once
Did you
you
tell him to
did,
call you
you
back
might-
so you know we got it?
I don't understand. I've been over and hitting golf balls twice.
This month? Have you?
In the dome?
Yeah. We have a
Oh,
Plymouth Creek.
So
has a
Josie
dome.
was actually,
They play
her
soccer
name
all
was
the time, but
Josie.
then they have certain times you can hit golf
And it's
balls.
interesting how they spell Grenchen.
yeah, they've been
Trying to get that swing
Yeah.
back.
I don't think.
Where'd it go?
I don't know. Where did it go?
You left it down in Texas
Well,
last year.
you don't have your friend here to help you remember that swing. What are you gonna do?
You mean his German
Agnes is
friend?
gonna get you on this
It's
one.
a trial and error process, I'll tell you.
I got kind of unhappy with
So-
Clarence. Because, the farm that he
When
was
you
living
leave your
on
friends from
was
Brownsville,
homesteaded.
and Tyler,
Brownsville, from
Grandfather.
Katy, we'll go
Okay.
down to Victoria.
And he moved
And,
to town.
If the weather isn't any good, we'll probably go right straight through and go right down to,
And he was not able,
Let's look
well, they didn't
down
come to
the
an
valley.
agreement, so the farm is sold. It's out of,
Victoria down to
Well, that's
Westlaco
what might
is
have
probably
happened to Harold Yank too.
yeah, the farm was sold to someone.
130
Someone
miles,
else.
something like that. It's like going
Oh, I
to
just
San
thought he
Antonio.
would bend over backwards to help his grandson.
Grand-
out.
Coming
Grandson,
back, we
yeah.
stay in Corpus
But,
Christi, we stay in San Antonio, and then we go
Well,
up to New Braunfels,
How
stay
much
there.
would?
So we got We got
You
friends
see Harold Yank
up
very
in
much, you
a
know.
place called Granbury,
I do, I
Texas,
stop
just
in there.
southwest
door
of
and they let me
Fort
in.
Worth.
Sometimes
think we
I
might
call before I stop in.
Give them a call anyway. We if the weather's nice, we like to go
You know,
to Tulsa.
we don't know where he is.
Because Tulsa has
Sundays,
a lot of good
he
courses.
is
Prices
Saturday
are right.
afternoon.
You can walk.
He's on
which
his
we
own.
wanna do.
He's gone.
To me,
Well, he's got to find out, you know,
That's-
if Barb is not
that's the
feeding
name of
him
golf. It's a walking
on
game.
Saturdays. He's got to get
Oh,
I don't
visiting
understand
somewhere
carts.
so that
Except
they'll
for
feed
people
him,
that are
right,
handicapped.
Jerry?
I
Usually
fed
the
him
people that use the carts
this
aren't
Saturday. I
handicapped
picked
at
steak and potatoes.
Wow,
Except for the fact that they're
She was
drinking
home.
beer.
I just,
And you
It's hard to
cook.
carry that stuff
yeah,
along.
she went.
Oh, yeah.
She had to
Don't
do
have carts,
something. I
so.
can't remember. She was over here.
We have the electric
Well-
caddies, and that way we can walk.
This one, you notice, is
Good.
ignoring you. He isn't even going to listen to that kind of
Last year we played
propaganda.
almost
Well, I do it
35
once a
rounds
year.
of golf, 18
Oh.
No, I
Wow.
do steak on the grill.
Well, yeah.
Well, yeah, it is.
But if he does the meat on the grill, that's a full-time job. I mean, the other stuff, you know, like the potatoes and the
meat?
salad and stuff, that's extra, and that is not a
Incidental.
part
She relates
of
to
the.
that. I can tell.
That's not a part of the responsibility is.
The meat, it's a big responsibility to get that meat cooked just
Oh,
right.
you
You
better
can't
be
take
just
your eyes
right.
off of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Can't
right.
keep your eyes off it.
I fried it on the stove this time.
Oh, well, it's okay, but
More things for you to read.
a letter in the mail from Larry?
Yeah, I guess you're not on our mailing list. 'Cause it's-
Oh, this is from you.
I don't
No.
think so.
No, that's the
Was that the
newsletter that Larry
newsletter?
sends
Oh,
out for the
Halstead
Halsteads.
newsletter. Halstead newsletter.
Oh,
All the cousins.
all the cousins, that's what it
It's
is.
kind of a nice way to keep the cousins all
Yeah.
connected. Because some we never see.
Now Larry's quite an editor.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if he took typing, and probably not in high school, but this one didn't. And so it's a peck. I have to leave the room when
She
he's
can't stand to
doing
watch me
anything
hunt and peck.
on the keyboard. And it's do
Upsets
with
her.
one finger.
She says,
You remember
she
how
sits
fast
there
her father could
and
go?
gets tense.
Well,
and
he did all right with just his
then she's got to
pencils.
go. She can't stand it.
I
Yeah,
don't blame her.
but now
Because we do it the proper way.
Sandy does that.
You're
Sandy
supposed to
does the
hit
typing, doesn't
certain
she?
letters with certain fingers.
You start reading it, and
There you go.
it's really
If I
something.
find the
It's
letter-
really good.
That's probably
They
how
sit and
famous
visit
journalists
and they
type
get it all
on
down.
keypad.
Yeah, unpack. Good system. Surefire.
We need to go home so these guys can eat their supper so that they can
Yeah.
have room for
You
dessert
don't
when
wanna
the
eat-
people
you
come.
don't want to eat with us?
Nope, there's enough for you, and you're gonna want to have what Aunt Agnes brought you.
I think there might be enough.
No. Besides, I have to go home and cook for Michael if he's.
And I have to
coming
take
home.
a shower and get ready to go curling at 8:30.
Yeah,
He's curling, aren't you?
I hope somebody went over there to do the ice for
How
you.
many years I've been curling, honey?
I honestly can't tell you. You tell me.
18 years.
It's been that long? No.
Yeah.
You started curling when Carmen was 4? Before Michael was born?
Before Michael was born.
Huh. Isn't that? Oh, you started with Bob Baumler and Jim Kirikas? No? How did you get started?
Tom Carey and I both got started from my old boss.
Oh, Grant Quam.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, that's been a while then. You're one of those
Still
young
not
guys.
good.
You were one of those young guys when you started, and now you're one of those old grouchy guys that the young guys talk
Nope.
about.
Nope. I have fun. I'm not one of those guys. This is a gentleman's game.
And you have to keep reminding those old grouchy guys of that when they lose
We don't
their
have
touch.
any. We lost them all.
Yep.
We don't allow it. We look at each other if we even start. We just smile at each other and that's it. It's over.
No grouching allowed.
when he composes these newsletters, he gets photographs, scans them, and he can either reduce them or enlarge them, put them in position on a sheet,
Yeah.
and type around them.
Yep.
It's nice to be able to do all that.
I bet your computer can do that.
Well, the computer can do it. The question is, can I do it? No.
You have a
See.
scanner?
Yeah, we got a scanner, we got a printer.
Well,
We've got the
everything you
equipment,
need.
we just don't have the
Everything you need.
know-how. But Keith can know us how, you know, he comes down here and he just does it very quickly.
And the problem is they do it so quickly they don't
I
stop
don't
and
even know what
explain
he's pushing
how you-
half the time.
And he doesn't have time to tell you
No,
because it's so fast that
Yeah.
it's hard to explain it.
it's hard to explain.
When we
Yes.
first got our computer, it was the same way. I would, what's this message that came up? And Jonathan would come over and I go, wait, tell me what you did. And it's like trying to tell a child to slow down, walk,
Yeah.
don't run. Okay, Mom. You know, and then they have to patiently explain
Yeah.
every little step to you. Because otherwise you just can't. I said, I can't read that message before you clicked on it and got rid of it. I need to know what I'm doing here. Because they grew up with it in school. And for us, the closest we had to a computer was setting on the television or setting the VCR to record. That was about the closest I'd ever been
Yeah.
to anything computerized.
Even that was confusing
Yeah.
at first. Huh.
You could. The joke
Okay.
was you could tell the people whose lights were flashing on their VCR, their kids hadn't been home for a while to set
That's
it for
right.
them.
That's right.
Because the first thing Jerry's mom does when Jonathan comes over is, John, set my VCR. You got unplugged.
Yeah.
She still does that. Well, thank you for the cool snack, Agnes. Oh,
Well,
jeez.
I hope you use it.
I
because-
will.
Okay.
That'd be nice.
I see a young architect, I tell him, well, I belong to a generation where we drew on paper with a pencil or pen.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, all you guys do now is sit and push buttons and play with a mouse and look at a screen.
Yeah.
They're on a CAD though.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I learned how to use the CAD.
And they can do so much work so fast that it's unbelievable. But I still like to be able to draw.
That letter reminds me of
I would take their
when Ben wrote about
component that they want me to
I don't
make,
know where that is, that copy.
and I would do it all right
It was
in
on
there. I'd make my mold around it right in the computer,
Billy.
and the different layers.
Sure.
I had several layers.
I don't,
It just goes on and on and on. You can spread it out so you can see how it all goes together and stuff.
I'm sure it's in one of the
Well, it's a great tool, no
Yeah.
question about it. But I always,
I don't know how to run it now.
yeah.
10 years, boy, that's a long time.
Well, when you never did learn how to do it, by then it's harder yet.
But I still curl with the guys that work at Johnson's, so that's pretty good.
Are they from
Waseca.
Waseca? Okay, do they work at
Johnson's components.
Johnson's? Now Johnson still makes radio equipment or
Mm-hmm.
anything else besides radio?
Well, they're in cellular now.
Cellular,
Yeah.
telephone
But-
equipment.
We go. Two places. I see some guys down the curling club. Then I'll go. We have our association with snowmobiling. We got our club in Hope,
Mm-hmm.
and I meet another guy that works in the radio product, so I get to keep up what's going on. Kevin Gunther. Some Larry. He hangs around with Larry now. Well, they go down there and work together. They're both on the board, and they do a lot
No,
of
what their goal is to do
lot
national
of-
screening.
work on the trails
I-
and stuff.
How can they diagnose that without an invasive test, I wonder?
I'd love to be able to produce a newsletter like that, though. That'd be great.
Well, your son got two sons there.
Oh,
Why don't you do the Shogo one?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you know, you could do a whole bunch of them.
And you tell them everyone is supposed to send you information about their family so that you can put it.
Getting
include
pictures that you
it.
can scan and put
Yeah,
together.
Sure. There's a new
That's what
project
really
for
makes
you.
it.
Well, you know the one I'm mixing with is the one in Wisconsin. Trying to curl with him. But we were supposed to go and curl but he's going on vacation when they have their spill.
Fred's daughter's husband.
Right. So we're trying to make contact. Next year we're doing it. They set it aside to make sure that this happens. Well, honey, suppose we should go home, huh? I want to get ready.
Who's gonna do the dishes?
Somebody will be here later to do it.
What?
The dishes.
Haven't you told me yet?
Who's gonna do the cooking?
It's all cooked.
It's all
It's
cooked.
just a matter of putting it in the.
Heating it up.
You'll have to show your sister around the kitchen where
Not
everything
me,
is.
I don't know where anything is.
Oh, you need to.
There's one thing I make, and that's popcorn.
Yes, you guys.
Use
You can
the,
put that in the
The
microwave.
microwave.
microwave popcorn.
Yep.
That's,
Wow. That's okay.
She knows how to run that.
Tray on the top,
yeah.
and then whatever minutes you want.
And whatever, like 300 for 3 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you'd start.
Yep.
Okay.
And restock is the same as reset if you want to redo it. Like that, so. And extra microwave dishes are down here, and
Okay.
Dad knows where everything is.
Oh, yeah, you betcha.
Yep.
It makes a lot of nice beeps.
This Megan did something else.
I'm reading it almost too fast, but
These are nice apricots.
It's something that
Good.
Very
just
nice.
before you go to sleep to read something like that, because it just touches your heart.
That makes a good, real good dessert.
Oh yeah, they're so sweet. Thank you for.
boy.
You should work at driving forklift or something before that.
That's what she was driving, forklift.
Now she's a
And
transcriptionist.
you went to see Aunt Agnes in the nursing home?
And,
In the nursing home.
yeah, and I guess this must have been Eric's.
Oh, I wish you would look for that. Look for
It was Eric's girl.
Mrs.
And then by the time we got home, the same gal was off work.
Was that Sandy that was working there?
That's the only thing that.
I don't
I think
remember.
Sandy worked in a nursing home.
And then by the time,
You were young, but
Not
not where Aunt Agnes was. She wasn't Aunt,
do you think it was when Dad was there? Or Mother?
she was pretty young then.
they worked in Cedar.
Right.
My dad, we never had to live out in the Owatonna nursing home.
Like what? I think it's $11.
Oh,
No.
As opposed to your hair?
Haircuts are $11.
Go see the Mike. Go see the lady that caused the Motor Guzzi. Have her cut your hair.
What?
The lady that caused the Motor Guzzi.
Who's your name?
Yeah, Guzzi. Right.
What's this Susie salt? It's the same thing.
What's that?
Sure is.
no, I was talking with Aaron
Something there.
here a few days ago, and I think we're a real lucky family
Why?
when that white tipped over that tractor.
Oh yeah.
You want to find ketchup
Yep.
in the fridge and mustard. And what else do we need?
You know, I heard about it, I never thought of another. I hear what Aaron told me, like, could have been real serious.
You didn't see the tractor?
Did you?
Yeah.
3 different kinds of mustard.
I went over and picked them up the next day when I found out.
What do we have?
No one called
That
us.
was
That was the
mustard.
tractor was all on wheels then, when you got there.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Oh, these two.
But
That was
Brad Baja, he lives right there too, and he saw it tip down there too. He couldn't believe it.
When you saw it happen,
No, he saw the tractor.
you saw it laying.
He saw it laying down there.
Parsley nice to roll too.
Boy, we need to buy new mustard here.
Grandpa needs new mustard.
He does.
I don't know, I
This is February 3rd. Like, he used
I
this
just
up.
didn't understand it, it was actually upset. I thought, you know,
Oh,
it
did
went
you
off
make
in the
how you
ditch
do
and
it?
got stuck or something.
I'll get along just fine.
He's going down the road. Lost it.
Aaron says they had big tractors up there
We're gonna
stacked up.
keep that stuff
Oh,
in
yeah.
the microwave.
Oh, that's right. Well, I'm not sure how long the camera will like I've got pictures. I'll put this on off a little bit. grab them.
Yeah, you got both of them there?
Is this a
Good thing it was a John Deere, huh?
That's a
They have roll bars.
microwavable thing, yeah.
Okay. I'll find, there's probably a bolt basket.
Move the cab though.
Yeah, they had to buy a new cab for it.
You must not have much battery left in there.
Why, did it blink?
No, but it tells you how many minutes up in the corner, how many minutes you're left.
You know.
Got 28 minutes yet, Barb.
Yours yet. You got more than I thought we were gonna have.
2, 4, 5, 6. There's enough.
Why is
2,
it
4.
blinking?
Because I'm,
What do you think?
it's recording.
Oh, let's just eat that, and if it's gone, we have more.
Usually the light stays red.
We'll give it needs a
Did
battery.
you charge the battery, Dad?
Yeah, we have 27 minutes yet.
He's been using it all the time. We told him to turn it off and he won't turn it off. He doesn't mind very well. Barb, I do not like
She
avocado.
talks to you like she
Okay.
talks to me.
Do you like avocado?
I don't know, I never eat it.
You ever taste it?
Yes, I have.
You learn.
I think it's
I
genetic.
don't like it. Ben loves it.
Must be
Put it on a
genetic.
separate plate.
And I'd like to put it on a separate little plate.
Yeah.
Here, and then anybody that
There's only one problem.
eat it.
How many times did I shut this thing off? Did you notice?
I don't know.
How many times have you shut it off?
I believe 2 times.
Going continuously?
No, I haven't. We shut it down when we were
When
visiting about something else and another something else.
Can you edit out of that? No?
Yeah, you can watch it if you want to watch it.
No, but I mean,
I think, yes, I'm sure we can.
if
Yeah.
we want to take out certain portions.
Well, I hung stuff in there.
Oh, there she goes. Tape is done.